close to a packed house here and becoming the norm for the Red Raiders under Chris Beard. But about a week off for these guys. We'll see how they respond.
First time ever at home for the Red Raiders to sell out their first couple of games of the season. More than 15,000 in the United Supermarkets Arena. This team averaged more than 12,000 a year ago, but that total up after playing on the final Monday night of the season. And we are underway. The opening tip controlled by the Red Raiders. This Davide Moretti up top. TJ Holyfield off to a great start for the Red Raiders. Kyler Edwards had double figures in that national title game a year ago, but his opening shot will not go. And Tennessee State quickly up the floor. That's Shaquem Johnson going to throw it away. Wanted to look back out front for Jalen Washington and threw it away.
Wesley Harris getting some special attention from the student section every time he's touched the ball so far. You can maybe hear that.
Wears number 4 for Penny Collins and the Tennessee State Tigers, based out of Nashville, Tennessee. Here's Jamias Ramsey. Back up top, Moretti going to get fouled. That is Carlos Marshall going to be whistled for the game's first infraction.
Yeah, I think Texas Tech trying to see, patience. And how long does Tennessee State want to guard? How long can they guard and remain disciplined?
Here in the opening minute, Kyler Edwards on the drive will draw the second foul. Edwards will go to the line.
This is a Tennessee State team, a Tigers team that will foul at a high rate. Not necessarily, playing without fouling at times is a skill. I think, Coach Collins teaches aggressive on defense. He talked to us about that earlier today. But again, at some point, you got to be smart. And teams have been able to really compete with his Tigers team just by making a ton of free throws. And Texas Tech can take advantage of some of that this evening.
Kyler Edwards is perfect on the season, 6 of 6 at the free throw line. Davide Moretti also has yet to miss at the free throw line, among the nation's leaders. On the drive, Washington got inside. Shot doesn't go, and the Red Raiders have it. Edwards again. Back up top, TJ Holyfield. This Moretti. Red Raiders on top 2-0 here in the very early moments of this game. Top of the key jumper not there, and there may be a whistle. It's underneath against a Red Raider. Holyfield.
Yeah, trying to block out right there. A little aggressive. See it coming off the roll right there. Yeah, and you see, TJ Holyfield trying to, using that forearm right there, trying to get
position inside against Shaquem Johnson, and
Jalen Washington too.
Got whistled for the foul. Three-pointer on the way, in and out, and not there for Wesley Harris, the West Virginia transfer.
And you can see the straight line drives that Tennessee State wants to get you in a one-on-one situation and just come right downhill.
Terrence Shannon drops in the 3-ball. That's his first of the year.
Not to say, not necessarily his game. If he starts to do that consistently, he becomes a much different player, as he has been excellent for this Red Raider basketball team in transition to this point.
Average just under 9 points a game so far, but had not made a 3 until that one. Pulls down a rebound, and the Red Raiders, who lead 5-0, they're on the offensive attack again. Shannon trying to find an opening, and going to get fouled by Shaquem Johnson on the drive. He'll be at the line.
Yeah, almost TJ right there. Well behind the arc. Just pulled up, decided to take it. That's one of those, if it goes in, the head coach says, "Hey man, young fella, that's not a bad shot." If it doesn't, it's like, what are you doing? Yeah, early in the shot clock like that, especially when you're a freshman that had not made one to this point, as he knocks down the free throw right there to TJ.
Red Raiders pretty good at that three-point line so far this season at 44.9%. You keep that up throughout the year, and that'll turn some heads. Here's Chris Clark off the bench for Chris Beard, the transfer from Virginia Tech. TJ Holyfield will sit.
instant energy off the bench. And missed free throw right there by T.J. Shannon. You know, and I wonder if Chris is thinking this is Brandon Francis' role with Chris Clark. Is he that role in Chris's program is very, very vital. It's you know, it's about who finishes the game and things like that. But much different than Francis, Clark does things that fill up the stat sheet that don't necessarily involve scoring, whereas Francis would give you those three-point makes off the bench.
Michael Littlejohn got in the lane, pitched it outside to John Brown, but his shot doesn't go, and the Red Raiders have another rebound. Red Raiders top rebounding team in terms of margin over their opponents in the Big 12 this season, early going. Here's Chris Clark. Shannon's got another look up top. That went off the front of the rim, and Brown pulls it down.
Yeah, Clark was trying to post up Littlejohn right there. He's got the size advantage down low.
Michael Littlejohn, Davide Moretti does not come out on defense. Wesley Harris is way outside that three-point line, defended by Shannon. Knocked him down on the drive, but Shannon may be guilty of the foul. No. They're going to get Kyler Edwards.
Yeah.
Although I'm not sure. I don't think Kyler got underneath him after he had put up the shot. Shannon gets pushed down. Kyler kind of runs in front of Wesley and took an elbow in the head.
And Wesley Harris does. Elbows him right in the head.
Chris, you referenced this a couple of seasons ago playing at West Virginia. Wesley Harris faced the Red Raiders 3 times that season.
Yeah, he did. And unfortunate incident after the game in January of 2018 here, and involving Wesley Harris and a fan. But Wesley Harris obviously not playing for West Virginia anymore. But crowd well aware of number 4 every time he touches the basketball.
Red Raider fans with long memories appear. Here's Kevin McCullough in the game for the first time now. Chris Clark, an opportunity inside, big strong guy, but can't get that shot to go. Brown has it for Tennessee State, trailing 6-1. Wesley Harris back to Brown, and he's going to travel with the ball, much to the delight of the Red Raider crowd.
Yeah, you wonder how long that treatment will keep up, and if Wesley Harris, if that rattles him at all. But uncharacteristic turnover at the top of the, kind of on the wing right there, top of the key.
Tonight's game, the first ever between these two teams. Red Raiders are 8-5 in their basketball history against teams out of the Ohio Valley. One of those wins earlier this season against Eastern Illinois. A conference foe for Tennessee State, actually picked kind of down low in the Ohio Valley Conference this season. A lot of new faces on their squad as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things that Coach Collins talked to you and I before the game about. Hey, man, this is just a great opportunity in front of a great crowd, but it's all about OVC play, as he said. Just trying to get his kids ready, prepping them for conference play, and that's what, they've got a nice game tonight, obviously, and then San Diego State in a few days.
Early on in this one, Red Raiders out front 6-1. You're watching Texas Tech TV here on Fox. Here at the United Supermarkets Arena in Lubbock, Red Raiders out front of Tennessee State 6-1. Let's throw it over to Taylor Peters. Taylor?
John and Chris, over the weekend, hundreds of fans waited in line to get their hands on a piece of history, and I've got it right here. This thing is heavier than it looks, and it's pretty thick, so I'm going to need some help. But it documents last year's historic season for this Red Raider team. It's got pictures and game recaps. It's got so many stories from that historic postseason run as the Red Raiders went from being unranked, picked 7th in the Big 12 Conference, to making it to the NCAA National Championship game. You can still buy your copy of Raider Power by going to TTU, TTU.org. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Taylor. Red Raider fans might want to grab that, and they might want to get a seat as this season goes along to watch Jahmiah Ramsey.
Well, he goes from air ball right there, then gets the putback dunk, and he was way above the rim, was Jahmiah Ramsey.
Wow, I'll say he was.
Yeah, and you know, Taylor was talking about that book, and Coach Beard showed up at the mall at about noon on Sunday and started signing at about 12:30. Did not leave until I believe after 3 o'clock, and went through several Sharpies. So
pretty lengthy line at the Lubbock South Plains Mall to get an autographed copy. Here's Kyler Edwards off the steal, took it right inside against Monty Johal, drawing the foul. And the Red Raiders headed back to the free throw line. Prior to that timeout, the Red Raiders had only one field goal made. That was the Terrence Shannon three-pointer. Now Ramsey has the dunk, and the Red Raiders, who have already been to the free throw line several times tonight, back there as Kyler Edwards adds to the Red Raider margin. You
see Kyler, he basically crosses over and wants to go to his left. As he crossed over underneath the basket, was trying to come back with his left hand. Got the foul, knocks down the free throws, and again, that's going to be an issue with Coach Collins' team if they continue to foul at this rate.
Red Raiders are 5 of 6 at the line tonight. They come into this one as a 69% free throw shooting team. Mark Freeman on top for Tennessee State. Monty Johal, Ben Kone inside, his first action of the season. Wesley Harris drawing a chorus of boos when the basketball gets into his hands. Kone, a transfer from Oregon State, declared eligible by the NCAA just yesterday, Chris, and the Red Raiders had hoped for similar good news on their roster, but do not get it.
Wish I could understand the NCAA with some of those decisions. So many waivers handed out, so many guys being cleared. The Red Raiders got some unfortunate news, as you mentioned. Yesterday, Joel Ntambwe will not be eligible this season, and don't understand why, as he had several teammates from UNLV that also left, which is where Joel Ntambwe comes from, that are all playing and eligible and things like that. But they don't give you an explanation. It's just kind of a thumbs up, thumbs down on that. But yeah, tough blow, but you just keep on keeping on. That just means that the recruiting class that Chris Beard has put together for next year, Joel Ntambwe is essentially a part of that, and it was already one of the top recruiting classes in school history. So if you want to look at it from that standpoint, your roster will be loaded next year.
Davide Moretti will sit for a moment after the offensive foul call. Avery Benson into the ball game. Red Raiders are on top by 9. It's 10-1. Texas Tech. Here's Mark Freeman into the front court. Red Raiders await as the Tigers set the offense. 3-1 on the year. Their lone loss, a 2-point defeat at Chattanooga. TJ Holyfield may have picked up his second foul. He does on the drive.
Yeah, and then basically, again, they just kind of create an ISO situation out there with Wesley Harris kind of run crossing routes on the baseline, and Wesley Harris comes out, and it really hurts your help defense when it happens that fast and nobody quick enough to rotate over.
Harris makes the first of 2, and Chris Clark quickly up off that bench for Chris Beard.
You could see Wesley Harris talking to Michael Littlejohn at the other end of the floor as they walked up the court. They clearly were getting ready to run that play, and or maybe he's like, why are these people yelling at me? lots of animosity in the building here toward Wesley Harris.
He's got 3. He's got all of the points tonight so far.
And there's Joel Ntambwe. You see right there is sitting next to Tyreek Smith, another Red Raider who's a bit dinged up right now. But Joel Ntambwe certainly be a welcomed addition to this roster next year.
Terrence Shannon found an opening, but it closed quickly. But Avery Benson on a 3 that doesn't go. It's his first miss outside the arc this year. Ramsey going to get another chance. Bounced around for a moment, doesn't go. It looked like Wesley Harris had gone over the top of Shannon underneath, but no foul on the boards by Tennessee State. Drive. Ball fumbled away by Emmanuel Egbuda, who's in the ball game. Red Raiders on a 2-on-2 break, but lost it. But Wesley Harris couldn't control, and the Red Raiders are going to get it back.
Yeah, Terrence Shannon right there, just maybe being a bit too unselfish. Got it, gave it right back to Jahmias Ramsey, and you need a little better spacing right there on the break. But you know, transition defense right there, very good for Tennessee State.
Red Raiders leading 10-3. The officials tonight are Tony Padilla, Mike Roberts, and Jabir Walker. They're going to try to separate these two teams on this Texas Tech inbound play. Hard to throw it over the top of Jahmias Ramsey. Going to drive inside. They're going to get him. They're going to get Mark Freeman on the offensive foul as Ramsey tried to use a size advantage to get inside on the 5'10" Freeman, if he's even 5'10".
Much flow to this game so far early on. A lot of because of the fouls, a lot of stops in play. Not much flow at all for either team early.
Chris Clark got hung up underneath, couldn't find anywhere to go with the ball. 8 on the shot clock for the Red Raiders, and Shannon's going to get called for double dribble.
Yeah, I think he carried it, John. I think when he had the kind of the head fake right there, I think they're going to say his hand, you know, rested on the bottom of that basketball and carried it right there, I believe is what the call was. Allowed in the NBA, just not here.
A lot of one-on-one play in this one so far, not necessarily to the pleasure of Chris Beard of the Red Raiders. Red Raiders trying to win their 50th consecutive game against a non-Big 12 opponent here at home, and if they continue that streak on through this season, they have accomplished something. How about Mark Freeman there?
Yeah, he does a good job with the pick and roll right there. Just kind of feels his way and gets into the paint. Nice mid-range jumper, but all set up right there by kind of the Texas Tech switching style. Allows him to penetrate just a little bit.
The average is about 5 points a game and has cut the Red Raiders lead down to 5. Kyler's three-pointer off the front iron, and Freeman's going to run again, but the Red Raiders have numbers.
Settling for way too many perimeter looks. 1 of 6 from behind the arc right now. The Red Raiders, you know, so much of a staple in Chris Beard's repertoire is that motion offense, points in the paint, just not many to be had so far.
That was Joe Hall in the corner. Shot wouldn't go, and the Red Raiders, the shots have been hard to come by. It's pretty chilly outside the arena, but much warmer inside. Great look by Jahmias Ramsey, and Kevin McCullough able to finish in close.
Well, there you go with you know, a nice look right there underneath and set up. You just slipped that screen, kind of backdoored him from the corner. Did Kevin McCullough. Nice find by Jahmias Ramsey.
Redshirt freshman out of San Antonio, joined this team a year ago at midterm and redshirted. Had an injury in high school. Here's Kyler Edwards and Jahmias Ramsey on the break, and Edwards going to take it inside and get fouled by Emmanuel Egbuda. 11:21 to play in the first half of this one. The Red Raiders on top 12-5 as you watch Texas Tech TV here on Fox. Here's that great look just a moment ago from Jahmi'us Ramsey going inside to teammate Kevin McCullough, who had gotten loose underneath. The assist there. Chris, the Red Raiders are really good at getting the ball to teammates in good spots.
Well, and you see it right there. I mean, an NCAA best per game early on in the season, and you know, lack of turnovers and just being able to share the basketball. Staples of this basketball program, 3 assists tonight so far. Kyler Edwards, Jahmi'us Ramsey, and Chris Clark each with 1. And again, it's all about unselfish play, but playing off of that motion offense most of the time.
Man, and 26 a game is absolutely incredible if the Red Raiders are able to keep that up throughout the course of this season.
And I think some of those turnovers early on in the season are a result of you being almost too unselfish at times, which leads to the turnovers with guys trying to, you know, get other guys involved and trying to share the basketball and things like that. So one kind of plays off to the other at some point, but that's what they're working on. That's what they spent a lot of time this last week working on.
6 of those Red Raider 14 points are from Kyler Edwards at the free throw line. Tigers trying to get the ball inside to Wesley Harris. Really covered up in there. Long one on the way from John Brown. Not there, and the big guy, Russ Chiwa, in the ball game. 7-foot Red Raider freshman pulling down the board.
Yeah, T.J. Holyfield's got those 2 personal fouls, so he has spent some time on the bench. And that's where, you know, in Tombaway, really not being eligible hurts you, is there's no real true experienced backup or somebody that can play with Holyfield. Is you have to go to the true freshman, a Big Russ, who is a pure post guy. He's not a stretch 4 like T.J. Holyfield and like in Tombaway is. But call coming the other way right here. Kyler Edwards with the...
He thought that ball was off the foot of Michael Littlejohn, but the officials thought otherwise. That's Shaquem Johnson on the drive, lost it, but got that ball back. And Wesley Harris continued to be greeted by a chorus of boos when the ball is in his hand. The air ball grabbed by Johnson and laid back in. And it is 14-7 Red Raiders, and Wesley going to be reminded by a huge crowd of students here of the errant shot. Davide Moretti trying to get inside, doubled up there. Here's Edwards. Jahmi'us Ramsey just waiting outside for the ball. Gonna launch another 3, and second time tonight. Wow, Chris.
Yeah, just I think forcing it right there. You know, he called for it, but just not dialing him up from deep tonight is Jahmi'us. And really, Red Raiders 1 of 7 from behind the arc. Tennessee State not much better. They're 0 for 6. So threes are not falling for either team right now.
That's a couple of air balls by Ramsey on a 3-point shot for a guy that was 7 of 12 on the season, averaging 19 points a game. Littlejohn trying to drive inside. That's going to lead to a scrum, and this is going to belong to Tennessee State, as the Red Raiders had won the opening tip of the ball game. Alternating possessions. I think Wesley Harris might have been trying to call a timeout, but the ball was not in possession of the Tigers.
Yeah, he was. Mike Roberts said your team did not have the ball. Can't call a timeout unless you're in possession of the basketball.
Littlejohn couldn't find a teammate and threw it out of bounds. So the inbound play, pretty good defense by the Red Raiders there to force a turnover.
Sandoni going to come into the game for the first time for the Red Raiders tonight.
True freshman out of France. Grew up in a suburb of Paris. Averaging just over 5 a game for the Red Raiders here in the early going of the season. Davide Moretti thought he was going to get the ball to Nadolny, but it was taken away. John Brown on the steal. He'll get double teamed in the corner, and Moretti steals it back. He's got Wes Harris. He'll stop though. 3-pointer on the way. Not there. Wow, the Red Raiders just can't find the long-range shot tonight.
And you know, when Moretti's missing them, they're really not going in.
John Brown's shot went about halfway down and came back out. Chris Clark the board. Size advantage inside with McCullough, but Nadolny couldn't get him the ball.
There are not many players that on a fast break would pull up for the 3. But that is Davide Moretti, and when you make 54% of them, you know, right right there with the 4-point play. So there's your 50+% coming true, but he's allowed to pull up on a fast break and miss one right there because next trip down, guess what?
Made 73 of those last season to lead the Red Raiders. And was the first player in the Big 12 history to shoot better than 90% at the free throw line, better than 50% from the field, and more than 50% behind that three-point arc. The junior out of Italy for the Red Raiders, Davide Moretti. 4-point play makes it 18-7 Red Raiders. 8 team fouls on Tennessee State, 5 on the Red Raiders. Wesley Harris is going to draw a crowd. Joe Hall inside, and the dunk attempt by Jalen Washington not going to go, but a foul on the Red Raiders.
Yeah, help defense right there, and they get you caught in a scramble situation. Jalen Washington almost finishes off the baseline dunk right there as everybody had rotated over, and Chris Clark, again, if you're gonna foul him, you want to make sure that that's not an and one opportunity. He certainly did that.
Jalen Washington transferred the old-fashioned way to Tennessee State. Set out last year after leaving Louisiana Tech.
And this is the most extended time that we've seen this team play without Holyfield. And it's interesting. It's not necessarily putting your best foot forward when he's not out there a part of things. He's been arguably your most efficient player to this point in the season at really both ends of the floor. And he has been out for about 10 minutes of game action with picking up that second personal foul early in this half.
Yeah, got a couple of fouls very early, and you're talking about a guy who averages just under 19 points and 5 rebounds a game. Had 21 in the last ball game against Houston Baptist, played down in Midland. So that is a lot of offense, and a key guy for you not there. Shot forced by Kyler Edwards, rebounded by Tennessee State. There's Shaquem Johnson underneath, back up top. Little John got Ramsey on his feet, and now the long-range jumper by Jalen Washington not there.
Because you've gone small here, and just not much going on inside the paint for you or around the basket, and defensively it can put you in a bind as well.
Jemias shot on the way off the iron there, going to get his own rebound. Here's Davide Moretti left alone, and that is, oh, wow. In and out for Davide, and Monty Joe Hall for Tennessee State may have rolled up his left ankle. He's down for a moment. We'll take a break as the Tennessee State trainers take a look at him. Red Raiders by 9. You're watching Texas Tech TV here on Fox. Back here at the United Supermarkets Arena in Lubbock, John Harris along with Chris Level and Taylor Peters. It's 18-9 Red Raiders on what has been a difficult shooting night for both of these teams. But Chris, pretty good day not that far back with signing day for college basketball, and Chris Beard has pulled in a pretty good group.
Yeah, last week the Red Raiders signed those three, as you just saw on the screen right there, Chibuzo Agbo, Micah Peavy, and Namari Burnett. Arguably one of the top recruiting classes in school history. Was ranked by many as a 5th or 6th best class in the country. Namari Burnett, you know, could have gone anywhere in the country. Micah Peavy the same. Chibuzo Agbo, somewhat underrated, but truly a positionless guy. And as we talked about, you can almost consider Joel Ntambwe as a part of that class, even though he's already here. But this machine is not slowing down anytime soon for Red Raider basketball.
Long three-pointer is up and good from Michael Littlejohn. That is the first of the night for the Tigers, who were 0 for 7 before that one falls. Red Raiders are 2 of 10 long range. So this has been a difficult shooting night for both these teams so far.
Combined 3 of 18 now.
Yeah. Red Raiders by 6 as we count down towards 6 minutes to go here in the first half, and Red Raiders have turned it over again. Hey, let's send it over to Taylor now for a moment.
Yeah, John, you mentioned those offensive struggles, and Coach Beard is really not happy with this team's 18 points. He said we have to get the ball moving so much better in order to be able to score the ball, but he's also challenged his team to do a better job executing when they force a turnover. Right now, Texas Tech has only scored 6 points off of 7 turnovers. Those are 2 areas that Coach Beard emphasized to his team.
Scoring drought right now, about 2.5 minutes for the Red Raiders.
Wesley Harris has an open look off the back iron, not there, but the long rebound run down by Jalen Washington. Back to Wesley again, but really guarded well by Kyler Edwards. Littlejohn tries to find an opening, got the shot off, but winds up in the hands of the Red Raiders. Davide Moretti is over on the far side. Ooh, official got run over there. Padilla, Tony Padilla hit by Wesley Harris on the break. Jemias Ramsey's one-hander doesn't go. Red Raiders just absolutely not running their offense, Chris.
No, I think pressing right now, and I think so much of it is playing without TJ Holyfield, who's such a catalyst, certainly around the basket. Offers some size and attracts some defense right now, because right now it's just one-on-one basketball, and you're trying to create, and they're just not falling for you. Because usually those shots right there, that mid-range, that's just in the flow for Jemias Ramsey. They're just not falling for him tonight. A couple of air balls, mid-range shots not going in.
Yeah, Ramsey, a guy is what, 1 of 6 in the ball game?
Yeah, 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 3 from behind the arc.
Yeah, not a usual night for a guy that was a 5-star recruit to this Red Raider basketball program out of Duncanville High School.
Raiders now 1 of their last 7 and get close to about 4 minutes without scoring.
Chris Clark got in the lane and lost the ball. Scramble for it. It'll belong to the Red Raiders.
Yeah, he just, I think too, trying to post up in the paint and then trying to see where the double team comes from. Okay, then I can switch into assist mode and try to dish it off. As you see him start to come off of that pick right there, he's going to back down, but see the crossover dribble right there, low-level play when you've got 2 guys around you. But I think you knew what he was trying to do. He's trying to be aggressive to score, but I think he's also trying to maybe get one of his teammates involved. And but again, can't turn it over.
(18-12) Red Raiders with 5:06 to go before halftime. Red Raiders have Kevin McCullough, Kyler Edwards, Davide Moretti, Chris Clark, and Terrence Shannon on the floor at the moment. 6 on that shot clock. Shannon going to drive, hit a shot there earlier in the ball game, and that one comes up short. Tigers will let it go out of bounds, and ball will belong to them, and an opportunity to narrow the Red Raider gap. Don't think we would see Holyfield again in this first half, though, with 2 fouls.
Two personal fouls. Again, TJ Shannon with the pull-up right there and did not draw iron, but again, starting to press is Texas Tech, and they'll settle in at some point. But I think so much of it is no Holyfield, no catalyst right there, and this is the first extended period of time we've seen this team have to play without him.
Pretty good ball movement by the Tigers to get the ball back inside to Ravel Moody. Nice look by Mark Freeman, and Moody will be at the free throw line. He has not been at the line this season. 6'6" junior out of Denver, Colorado. Chris wearing the throwback pants.
Yeah, they are shorter than you and I are. That's kind of the style these days.
Some of the guys.
Yeah, my kid does that on occasion. Rolls them up. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
This is how I like it, he says. But yeah, I guess he's not alone. That's kind of the style with basketball players, some of them these days. I grew up in the Fab Five days, right? With the shorts down to your knees.
Or beyond.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Moody's free throws narrow the Red Raider lead to only 4. Kyler Edwards with nowhere to go on the baseline. There's Shannon. Red Raiders have let that shot clock get down low again at 5. Jamias Ramsey going to drive inside, banked it up and in.
I'm not certain that he was aware of the shot clock, but nice timing right there as he just, again, makes a play, and he didn't settle. You know, too much settling for perimeter looks right there. He just decides to make a move, and that quick first step can't be guarded.
6'4" kid who can leap out of the gym for the Red Raiders. Going to steal it here. Look out below. Ramsey, oh, he lost the dribble, but still got it back and laid it in. That was going to be a highlight reel dunk, but he'll settle for a lay-in, and Brian Peavy, or Brian Collins, rather, for Tennessee State has called timeout as the Red Raiders have pushed the lead back up to 8. You're watching Texas Tech TV here on Fox. Red Raiders leading 22-14 thanks to back-to-back buckets by Jamias Ramsey of the Red Raiders. We are late in the first half, and by the way, join us for our next broadcast. Comes up Sunday afternoon, November the 24th, as these Red Raiders take on the Long Island Sharks. Broadcast coverage begins at 1 o'clock. Texas Tech Red Raider basketball right here on Texas Tech TV on Fox. Red Raiders going to pressure Tennessee State a bit in the backcourt, run that shot clock down. Michael Littlejohn, yeah, they are no longer the Blackbirds.
That's the one staple for a Chris Beard coach team is every time coming out of timeout, they're going to throw something at you, whether it's a trap or full court, press or just kind of showing it just to kind of throw you off a little bit. But you're going to get something different. You better be prepared for that when you come out of a timeout.
Free throw shooting not there for Tennessee State. Red Raiders with the basketball, closing in on 3 minutes in this first half. Davide Moretti trying to get the look there over Moody. Might have taken a shot from his teammate Kevin McCullough as he came through the lane. Wesley Harris certainly did, and Kevin McCullough is going to be at the free throw line.
Let's see what happens here.
Oh
yeah,
wow,
Davide Moretti with the screen. He just.
Who knew that Davide Moretti could set a screen on a 6'9"
I think
wing?
If you watch I think Moretti is as surprised as Harris is. I don't think he was necessarily even trying to screen him, or they just got in close proximity of each other, and we had a collision. But Moretti won.
Yeah, Kevin McCullough through the lane took advantage of that pick set by Davide. Three-pointer straight on from Jalen Washington. Left alone, top of the key. 23-17. Both teams starting to find the range a little bit more. Kyler Edwards, though, around Washington. Inside Shannon's dunk attempt not there, but he will go to the free throw line.
Boy, you see Texas Tech set up kind of in a 5-out set right there. And you break somebody down off the dribble, and Kyler Edwards did a good job of finding the cutter coming down the baseline, and TJ Shannon, you see again spacing right there, balance floor for Texas Tech, and boy, almost with the N1 opportunity.
The double team really, as it turned out, on Kyler, and that left Shannon alone to come down the baseline. True freshman out of Chicago. Another highly sought after recruit, lefty.
Very much so. Plays very, very hard. Great in transition. Attacks the rim.
Considered one of the top 100 players in the nation. Tennessee State looking inside. Wanted to get that ball to the Oregon State transfer. Ben Koné playing for the first time this season for Tennessee State. Knocked out of bounds by the Red Raiders. Wesley Harris will inbound that ball. Have to bring it way back out front, and McCullough bumps into Ravel Moody, and that will be a foul on Kevin McCullough.
Boy, that's where okay, do I actually try to steal this? Do I challenge it enough to make him make a tough catch? McCullough probably just a little bit too aggressive right there, because again, that's a tough play to make as it is anyway. That lob pass going away from you right here, right by he's right by us. Sideline.
Second personal against McCullough, 9th team foul against the Red Raiders. So Tigers still at the line shooting 1-1. And Moody, who had not been to the free throw line this season before tonight, now 3 of 3. With an opportunity for number 4, Kevin McCullough will sit down. As the Red Raiders get Chris Clark back in the ball game with Edwards and Ramsey, Terrence Shannon, and Davide Moretti.
Yeah, you mentioned Clark back in. I mean, the 2 grad transfers for the Red Raiders. Obviously, Clark and Holyfield. No offensive production from either tonight. Obviously, Holyfield's been in foul trouble, and Chris is just coming off the bench there.
Terrence Shannon lost it for a moment, got it back, and will attempt another three-pointer. Not perhaps his best shot, and it doesn't go. Moody the rebound, and Littlejohn will bring it across the timeline with just under 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Red Raiders by 6 against a feisty Tennessee State Tiger team. The ball almost stolen away by Ramsey, and on the drive, Jalen Washington may get the opportunity for a three. No, he's going to get the charge. Charge board comes into play.
You see the replay right here. It looks like
He starts the drive. Red Raiders, both Terrence Shannon and Davide Moretti set up underneath. This is a big emphasis by the Red Raiders to play defense and on a drive, step in there and draw the charge.
Part of college basketball, and now TJ Holyfield would be leading the team in charges taken with 3 on the season so far in 4 games. But if he doesn't get it, Davide Moretti's trying to step over there and get it done too.
Tyler Edwards inside over Moody, but point blank range doesn't go. Kone got it for the Tigers, and Brian Collins, Penny Collins, wants his team to slow it down and get a good shot. Goes by the nickname Penny. Grew up in Tennessee as a high school basketball player. You can guess where that came from. Wes Harris on the drive and had that ball slapped away.
Terrence Shannon right there giving up that dribble drive right around the elbow.
On the shot clock, counting down towards 1 minute remaining here in the first half. Long 3 by Wes Harris. Not there. And Tyler Edwards brings it up court for the Red Raiders. 53 seconds remaining in the first half. Red Raiders by 6.
A lot of standing by the Red Raiders on the offensive end, and just yeah, again, you just a lot of one-on-one basketball, very uncharacteristic, but they just they spread out. Spacing is there, but just not a lot of movement.
Veteran Davide Moretti will reset the Red Raider offense, but 9 on that shot clock after Tyler Edwards missed a couple of times. Davide looking for a drive. If they foul him, he's almost automatic at the line, and right at the shot clock buzzer, Moretti delivers. Veteran play there by Davide Moretti. 5 on the game clock. Moody, long 3 at the buzzer. Got it. Got it for Tennessee State. Momentum for the Tigers as they head to the locker